fans, AdamHarry here. We've got the Warmachine and Hordes Prime and Primal book, and I also have a special guest.
Hey, I'm Stable Abe.
He's also here. We're going to go through these books. We're going to make it pretty brief.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap between these two, but these are the new core rule books. They are big.
Woo!
They're hefty. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Abe, which one do you want to start with, man?
Let's start with good old Warmachine, kind of.
All right. Warmachine Prime.
Yeah,
all right,
where it all began.
That's right.
Get out of here.
It's nice too that they released both of these books at the same time.
Yep.
I want to say that they've moved away from that model where they would do all the Warmachine stuff first for 6 months and then all the Horde stuff after the fact. Now they're just like, hey, it's pretty much the same game at this point with some different rule sets. But yeah,
let's
that's
not
okay.
pretend.
Yeah.
Warmachine is still first in our hearts, right?
That's right. For the motherland.
Yeah.
We're a couple of Coddar players.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry for you.
Butcher all the time, man.
Butcher all the time. Yes. The pioneer of the axe to face method.
It never fails. Well,
Butcher.
it might. But it never fails to
entertain me.
To be a plan.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the back of the book. Butcher's awesome. The storyline wise, this does advance the storyline. So the events of the past are not completely retconned out of existence. So I do want to call that out up front. But it does kind of push the storyline forward quite a bit. And the basic layout of this book, we've got the intro to everything. We've got the rules. The core rules are really only about 30 pages, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Roughly, they cut out about a quarter of the old rules, and it's streamlined, but in a good way. I think it's still got a lot of complexity, but it's not so dense or obtuse that if you're a new player, you're not going to get overwhelmed immediately anymore. So, aside from that, yeah,
really, all of the rules together are really only about 70 pages. If you look at everything that might be considered a rule.
Absolutely,
70 pages of rules.
Yeah, you've got the basics there. That was 30 pages, sorry, and then you've got gameplay, combat, and then how to read the basics of the cards and stuff like that. So yeah, you're right. It's about 60, 70 rules total. There's going to be a ton of pictures in here too. So
obviously.
Also, want to call it out early. Keep an eye out for the artwork because it's amazing. Yeah, straight up. Then it also, after you go through the intro and the rules, and then it goes through the scenarios and everything. It also does a breakdown for each of the factions that are in Warmachine currently. So we've got Signar, Minoth, Koddar, Crix, the Rat, Retribution, Mercenaries. They even have a section, which is kind of a big change.
I do have to say, I do have one really big complaint with this book, though.
Oh, yeah?
And I hope that they address in a future edition.
What's that?
The artwork on the front of the book is really inaccurate, though, because weak Signar mechs can't do that.
The Warjacks? No.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They can't do that to it.
No. This Juggernaut is clearly about to strike the killing blow.
But I mean, his armor is clearly stronger than that man's fist could do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is entirely inaccurate.
Yeah, this is propaganda from those stupid swans.
Yeah,
and clearly those guys need to get beheaded.
Clearly this was written by a Signar man.
Yeah, clearly.
So take it with a grain of salt.
That's right. The glory of the motherland.
I mean, look at that Signar bias there. That picture of Signar on the forward.
Just because they're making him look awesome.
Yeah,
come on.
It's ridiculous.
Signar bias. Yeah. Signar, we're calling you out, Pro Press. We're calling you out on your bias.
Yeah.
So here we have a map. Well, I actually love maps and books.
They have great maps.
They do have great maps. The reason I like maps, though, is because it helps to paint a better picture where the conflict's taking place. It draws you into the setting more. Yeah. When I was reading the Lord of the Rings books or The Hobbit back when I was a kid, I would flip to that map.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, when I was a small child.
But you've stopped now.
Yeah, I stopped reading.
I'm disappointed in you.
You should be. Anyway, it's all the Iron King stuff. Again, it moves the timeline forward. We're not going to get into all the changes and stuff like that.
Right.
But see clearly more Signar propaganda. Clearly. Yeah. Moving on from there. There's a whole new era. Lots of stuff. Backstory-wise,
or Signar.
Well, they're fighting Minoth. Who cares? Those religious zealots are much better.
We really shouldn't pay attention to this picture at all. It's not awesome.
Really. It should. If it had more Khador, it'd be more awesome.
It'd be more awesome. Yeah.
The rules basics, the overview. Again, they cut about a quarter of the rules out from the previous edition. Cleaned it up.
If you played before, you won't be like totally lost or anything. But things are simpler, a little more streamlined.
Yeah.
Flows a little bit faster. And
they have a really role priority thing. Yeah.
Everything you liked is there, but it's better now.
One of the things I really appreciate about the Privateer Press rule set is that it is very clear and concise. 99.9% of the issues can be resolved by reading the rule again, reading the relevant rule, reading the card, and then reading the target's card.
Yep.
It's like if you have a confusion, do that in that order. If it's not immediately clear, read the relevant rule again and reread the card and the ability. And then by that point, it's solved 99% of my arguments. What I love about this, though, is they have diagrams that pretty much show everything off.
I mean, really, this is the great one that they say, this is what it means if it's within, this is what it means if it's completely within, and this is what it means if it's at 0 inches of each other. Because I know other rule sets do not have that well defined, and that's caused an argument once or twice.
Once or twice,
yeah.
So the fact that they have a diagram and explaining everything like that, thank you.
Good.
Private Your Rest, thank you. Thank you so very much. The models in the game, a lot of the sizes are based on the base size too, so it's kind of an abstraction there, which is good. They still have that basic rule around.
Right, and obviously Cawdor has the biggest and best model.
Oh, that's one of many biggest and best models.
Right, but I mean in that picture.
Yeah, clearly in that picture, yes. There's some of the special rules. Again, they've cut down quite a bit on the special rules in the core rulebook. The cards still have some of them, but they've realized that if one rule was similar to another rule, why don't we just combine the two and just have the one? So I appreciate that. These are all just the core rule books. Weapon qualities, it goes through melee attacks. Some of that's changed a little bit. There are new melee ranges.
Yep.
So check your cards. That's a big thing too. You can buy the decks. They'll have updated rules.
The cards are really important. And one thing I like in the next section that's pretty cool is they do have just encounter levels. How big? This is a really easy way of being. How big of a game do you want to play?
Hey, do you want to play a quick duel? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Warcasters. Boom.
Yeah.
Hey, how about we do a major engagement? Oh, sure. 125 points, max of 2 Warcasters. No problem.
Yeah, so some pretty cool different rules for that. Makes it real easy.
Most games, if you just show up, if you're new in a town and want to just play some Warmachine, I think the target level for most players is the pitch points.
Battle.
75 points, pitch battle. You can do a lot of starter leagues. We'll do stuff like the Rapid Assault, which is 25 points, up to 50 point, maybe starter league stuff.
Yeah.
But 75 points is kind of the new normal. They've rearranged the points too. That's another big thing. They've basically tripled the points. Is what I think that's the way it works for most things.
Okay.
So that they could basically be a little bit more granular with the points.
Right.
So. They felt like some Warjacks being only 6 or 7 points were maybe undercosted, but not terribly undercosted.
Right.
So by tripling the point values, and say that Jack was like 7 points or whatever, they tripled it to 21 points. Well, it maybe wasn't that good. Let's drop it down to like 20 or 19 points.
Right. There's a bigger difference between things that are slightly better than each other.
Right. So they could rebalance it a little bit that way. Every single unit that was currently out got re-evaluated and repointed, and they've changed that with the cards. You can buy the decks. There's one way to do it individually. You can get the War Room version 2 app out and get those purchases that way too. There's tons of ways to get access to those cards. I'm going to quit harping on that.
Yeah.
Keep moving on. Sample armies, stuff like that. Again, if you're familiar with the game at all, this isn't going to be entirely new or different. Player turn hasn't changed a ton. That's pretty much the same. Charge direction. Again, most of the stuff's pretty much the same. Throwing changed a little. This is what I was talking about earlier about the sizes of models.
Yeah.
Again, more Signar propaganda because they could have put a Conquest there.
They should have put a Conquest.
They should have. Yeah, these should all be Signar Cawdor models.
They should.
Yeah. There's the Butcher killing all those guys clearly in that one.
That's what he does.
Yeah, line of sight targeting. The Butcher can just kill all those guys. No.
Why does he need line of sight targeting for an axe?
Yeah, he's just
going to go kill them all.
Yeah, he can see your face. You're dead.
Yeah,
that's really what happens. No, but seriously, they have great diagrams outlining all that stuff. Really, moving through here, one of the biggest changes I think players are going to care about. This is me personally. When I was flipping through this, attack rolls have stayed the same. 2 dice, mat plus rat, or mat or rat. Depending on focus.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shut this for a second. The biggest change for Prime, to me personally, I think, is the way focus works. If you ever wanted to run a Warjack heavy list, you always felt like the constraint of having focus problems, right? They fixed that, I think. I really do think, because now, if a Warjack starts in your caster's control area, basically at the start of the turn, they get a free focus.
Yeah.
One free focus. Holy crap, that makes a world of difference now.
That's a huge change.
Because it scales, right?
Yeah.
If you have 6 Warjacks in your battle group and the Warcaster, if all 6 of that's 6 free focus you just got.
Right.
It's huge. Another big change is the Warcaster's armor. If you take damage from from a source and you have leftover focus, you can now spend a focus point to reduce that damage by 5.
Yeah.
Which is pretty huge. It still does the thing with the armor buff and all that stuff. My point is that focus got reevaluated. There were a lot of players comparing Hordes to Warmachine in the previous edition. I was one of those players. I always complained that I felt like Fury was just a better mechanic.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, it lets you, in my opinion, it lets you play a little bit more loosely.
Yeah.
It lets you, you really had to plan your turns out with focus, I feel, a lot better. And if one thing went wrong, you wasted all that focus.
Yeah.
But with Fury, you could kind of pay as you go.
Pay as you go, yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not that just to say that planning your turn out is bad or that wasn't a cool mechanic, but they definitely wanted to push things more towards
Jack army.
using the big jacks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I just got to say, this is one of the best pictures in the book because look at that beautiful Khador battle line.
Right?
Can you get more better than that?
No. Yeah, but they cleaned up a lot of that stuff. Just this is all kind of the fine details. Again, if you ever have a confusion about a rule, read the rule again, read the card, read the ability on the card, read the target, and then if that doesn't work the first time, do it again.
Yep.
Power attacks have changed slightly.
Read the book. There's lots of little changes.
Yeah. So we're going to skip through the rule section because, again, I'm not going to... We've harped on that quite a bit already, so we still have another book to go through. The next big thing, you can see here, there's combined range attacks.
All the special rules.
We're not going to get... Warcaster and Focus, that's what I was just talking about here. Focus, manipulation, feats.
They are giving the butchers due, of course.
Yeah, you should. You totally should.
Good. And beautiful models, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, anything Khador.
This is what I was talking about, too, with the power field. So basically, again, you can spend a focus point to mitigate 5 points of damage from attacks.
Right.
From the first, like that attack. So if you get hit multiple times, you have to spend multiple focus. But you can mitigate a lot of damage that way.
And there's clearly an idea that they wanted to refocus the game a little bit more on Warjacks and away from sort of infantry blobs that it had turned into by giving the extra focus and make Warcasters a little more durable, take out surprise sniping, that kind of thing.
Right.
Warcasters can still die, obviously. That's still a big thing.
That's still assassination, still a valid way to do it.
But it's going to be more of a result of a concerted effort and fight to kill them than some random one-shot kind of thing going in.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to, quote, just get lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a cool change in my opinion. Spellcasting also changed a little bit. We're not going to get into all this stuff. I wanted to skip ahead. They do have the new missions and stuff like that too, which is great. It does talk about Hordes. Yep. I do want to call this out. The Hordes book actually does it too. They do talk about Hordes. I think there's an entire section actually later on that addresses
and again, Signar bias, first faction.
I mean, maybe alphabetical bias, but totally Signar bias. We get you. Totally. We see you, Swan.
We see you. Yeah.
We see what's going on. What I wanted to point out real quick, we'll skip to the good section here.
Yeah, there we are.
There we are.
The good section.
The good section. We're not biased. We're just factual. These are all facts.
These are the best.
We're gonna skip to the good one. So.
The Motherland makes me say these things.
Yeah, if you're not a Khadorian player, you can. Never mind.
Glory to the Khador.
That's right. Basically, each of the sections is going to be laid out similar. You're going to have a backstory about the glorious Khadorian Empire. The best backstory, clearly. Talks about our awesome legacy of strength, clearly.
No, do you know? Is this all new fluff, or is some of this from some of the other books reprinted at all? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head if all of the fluff is entirely new. I know this is some of it's more of a summary. Again, the storyline did move forward,
right?
So it's got some updates in there too. This section right here in particular, I think is just the history of them.
Yeah.
So it's not this might not all be new stuff, but
Best history, though.
but it is the best history.
Right.
We do have a new caster, which is pretty cool. So we've got new caster with new backstory, new abilities, and all that fun stuff. New artwork. Yes.
Yeah.
We've got Sorsha, she's great. We've got Vlad, who's awesome. We've got the Butcher, who's the best.
He's the best.
Literally the best.
Yeah. No one's better than Butcher.
Name of somebody better.
No one. You can't.
Can't do it.
Can't be done.
Can't do it.
It's possible.
Yeah, he's got the best weapon in the game.
Yep.
He's got the best looking.
He's got the best
haircut.
pot belly in the game.
Best pot belly,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. He's got the best armor.
Yeah. Yep. Best fur.
Got the best feet.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Blood
Definitely.
Fury.
Definitely. Best floating rocks. No one has better floating rocks than the Butcher does.
He's standing behind us right now, so if we don't say these things,
He has our family.
It goes through the jacks. We've a lot of these jacks are been in the game for a long time. Old favorites, berserkers. A lot of them are getting new kits with new rules. Not new rules, but the new point costs, updated stuff like that. You can see here's a good example.
Decimator's always been my favorite jack.
Best pictures.
Best pictures. Yeah.
Yep. We've got the Destroyer. They're great. So updated fluff, somewhat. The Conquest, one of the best all-time colossals.
Yeah.
We've got the gun carriage, all-time best battle engine.
Definitely best gun.
Best gun carriage.
Yeah, definitely.
The Doom Reavers are the best swordsmen in the game.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Who wield Doom
who don't
weapons.
have shirts and have. Yeah.
If you got the infantry, I'm skipping ahead here too, but you can see. Basically, if you had a unit in the game previously,
Yeah.
this book's got you covered for the most part.
And I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is the best way to put out a new edition. You want new rules for everything right away. No overlap with old rules. No models that don't have no rules. Even if this might change a bit later on when you put out a new book or something.
But you've got the core here. You've also got the rules available via the cards. Those all updated.
Yeah.
New points, new cards. A lot of these too. The new box sets actually have the unit attachments already included, which is nice. So you can just buy the box sets. If you notice here too, the points actually changed. So anyway, we would go through the other factions, but they don't really matter because they're not good oriented.
We already saw the best faction.
Yeah, we already saw the best faction. Here's the Hordes appendix here. We do have
The mercenaries have some cool stuff.
Yeah, the mercs do have cool stuff.
But guess they help Cotter sometimes.
Right. It has some awesome terrain building. What I wanted to show here too, real fast, was there's actually the quick reference stuff, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's appendix on timing and stuff like that. It has Hordes rules in there, which just talks about their the Fury mechanics and how that stuff works. So basically, if you only played Warmachine for some reason, you're not going to get blindsided if your friend shows up with some Horde stuff. So that's cool. So that's this book. We're not going to spend as much time going through the Prime book
because I mean,
it's a lot
it is the best Warmachine book that doesn't have Khador in it.
It's got. I like the Trollbloods.
The Trollbloods, but it's the best book that doesn't have Khador in it, but doesn't have Khador in it.
Yeah, that's the one big flaw we wanted to complain to Privateer Press about.
If there was like a more Khador in this book.
Yeah, we're being facetious, guys. Come on. Same kind of layout. We're going to show off the table of contents. Same kind of layout. Again, basic rules, all that stuff. The key differences here is it's going to focus. It's going to focus on Fury instead of a focus on focus.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. You've got all the basic rules, all the different factions again: Trollblood, Circle, Scorn, Legion, Minions.
Yeah.
All those cool guys. We're not going to go the history of.
I do want to give a quick point out to the map in this book here.
Oh yeah,
because
we only saw this half.
Yeah, normally as more of a Warmachine player, normally this is the half I see.
Yeah,
I love seeing the whole map together. This is really cool. I think. Honestly, more than the other map does, this brings in how big Khador is to me.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, Signar is actually a lot bigger than I think it is too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's no Khador.
Yeah, I mean it's
But it's really cool to see the whole continent laid out.
I do appreciate the big Scorn Empire shot.
Kind of looks like Mordor down here, doesn't it?
You know,
like in this position with kind of some mountains around it and a big lake.
I'm not gonna deny those accusations. But the diplomacy in me is saying maybe we should just leave that one to those Mordor guys. Scorn.
We won't talk about that. And of course, this is the area that you can't look at because it'll look back.
Yeah, the Abyss.
Yeah.
I see what he did there. it's going to talk about the Circle of Ouroboros, just the early faction again. Some of this is new. Timeline's been moved forward. I'm not going to get into all that stuff. It's really good fluff, though.
It's good, yeah.
It's good lore, backstory. Definitely read it if you get a chance. It's worth the read.
Yeah.
We've seen these rules before. We now have Scorn guys talking about Complete Within versus, this is almost not verbatim, but
yeah,
pictures are different.
Yeah,
the pictures have been changed.
I mean, the key to remember about this book, with the fluff and the rules and everything, is that the most important thing is that it really helps put into perspective how amazing KOTOR is, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Same basic stuff.
Seriously, yeah.
We're gonna go through. We'll go through one faction here. We'll do the trolls. I believe they're first. So
yeah,
they're pretty awesome.
They got amazing artwork here.
Yeah, for sure. They have some of the coolest models, I think, with the Mountain King.
The Mountain King artwork is great.
They also use axes, which remind me of KOTOR.
Yeah, so. And they like winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get behind these guys.
I agree.
I'm not opposed to the trolls.
No.
So they have some awesome artwork. I can't turn the page here. Again, more background on the trolls, more fluff.
Yeah.
A lot of it's updated, new casters and stuff like that. She's actually not the new one. I think
she's got her wooden mallet. She
might have been. I forget. There's a new couple casters in here.
Nah.
Madrak Ironhide. He's got the awesome axe of the Ragnarok.
Second best axe in the game.
Bingo, behind Lola. Here's the Rune Master. I believe this is the new one that you get in the Trollblood starter battle group, which is, by the way, those are awesome deals.
Great deals.
Yeah. We go through here, we'll skip ahead. It's not that I don't want to give these guys more time, it's just you kind of know where this is going after seeing the other book too.
Look at that though. Look at that. I mean, if you don't want to go play this game right now, you're a sad person.
That is pretty inspiring to look at. Mountain King.
I looked at this and I'm playing this game right now.
Yeah.
You can't see me because I'm on the camera, but I'm playing it.
He's playing it in his mind.
Yeah.
In his mind bullets.
This is also a really cool page.
Similar, this carriage is similar to the gun carriage.
It is. In fact,
I think they stole the design.
They borrowed the design.
Which, the axes clearly stole from KOTOR design.
Well, we might look at this as kind of, if KOTOR is clearly Russia, right? Then this is clearly, like communist China.
Oh, wow.
And we're really giving them all the nice stuff and helping them along.
I don't know if I want to continue with that political analogy or not, but I would say that these are definitely tributes to Fedorian engineering
to
and
glorious
design.
KOTOR, yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna get so much hate in the comments. Moving on.
But those people don't matter.
Yeah. Wow, we love you, but. Yeah, that's pretty much, exactly what you're getting with the book.
There's no big surprises.
Yeah, these sections repeat for each a different faction. Circle of Ouroboros here.
But yeah, this book also
has the
what's in Warmachine kind of differences.
We can see that right here. Warmachine rules. It goes through that too. So it doesn't matter which quote game you're playing.
Yeah.
You've got some of the you got all the core mechanics for the other factions.
Yep.
So again, if you're primarily a Hordes player, and your friend shows up with some Warmachine stuff, you're not going to get blindsided. You've got some rules how the focus works and stuff like that. So it's not crazy. It does talk about the power field, reinforcing the power field. So you should know how focus works if you're playing primarily Hordes.
I think overall, Hordes had a few less changes than Warmachine did. I mean, they both streamlined a lot, but it didn't have any big changes like the power fields and the focus changes.
Yeah, I can't remember anything off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So it's not. These games aren't very dissimilar in that regard. Again, the core rules are basically the same for both.
Right.
Focus did get tweaked more so than Fury, I would say. Some of the threshold stuff changed point-wise. I mean, you can see it in the books.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are really into Hordes, you may notice it a lot more than somebody that's more of a casual player. If you played in previous editions and were looking to get back into it, and you already have an army and everything like that,
this is the time.
This is the time. Pick up one of these books, depending on whatever you played, and go from there. There's also the new battle groups, which you mentioned, which are really great to get started. They make awesome gifts if you want to get a friend playing.
Yeah.
I think they run about $40.
The Butcher model is still a great model. You should pick that up, definitely.
Yeah. Butcher's still awesome.
Yeah.
He kills pretty much whatever he touches, which is
This what just does his job.
yeah. That's the Butcher for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was just kind of a fun joking overview, but seriously, great products from Privateer Press. They're really big and hefty, and they look nice. Awesome artwork. I just can't say enough good stuff about it, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, production-wise,
Top of the line.
Top of the line. They streamline the rules a lot. It's a great next step for the games.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a large built-in player base.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of the just to call this stuff out too, all the different events they do, all the lock and loads and things like that, all the different cons that they show up at to show the game off and play and do tournaments with. That's one of the cool things about this game is it is very heavily supported by Privateer Press as a competitive game.
Absolutely.
So if you are looking for that competitive niche, if you're looking for a game that's really going to test your mettle, Warmachine and Hordes.
They're great games. I would say though, in that vein, because some people don't want as a competitive game, and I think a lot of the changes they've made and streamlining things and bringing back more warjacks and making caches a little more survivable have really made this game a little easier to play casually than maybe the previous edition was.
Yeah, Abe and I were talking about this before too. Because the rule set is so tight and so concise and so clean, it really cuts down on the arguing, and you can totally play this game in more of a casual mode because you're going to have less arguing.
Right.
And just because there is a competitive vein, a vibe that runs through this game does not mean you can play this. You can't play this game for fun.
And they moved away from a few of the more
egregious
power gamey abilities, I think, and some of those rules, and have really kind of wanted to be like, hey, we have a really great tight competitive community, but don't forget you can play this game casually and just have fun with it too.
Yeah. And again, just to tout the value of those battle boxes, I know that there are a lot of stores that are doing battle box entry leagues now.
Yeah.
And I think the price of admission is basically picking up a battle box. And it's really hard to be power gamey with those battle boxes. So if you've got a friend or two that are looking to jump in the game with you, go check out your local store, ask them if they're doing a battle box league, pick up a battle box or two. And they actually have really solid list building guides in those for like next steps. So check them out. They're not crappy lists. No, they're actually they're maybe not the most competitive list, but they're not terrible. They're not like you can tell that they were just trying to show model. They're not like that kind of a list. We've seen those. We know which one. We know what you're talking about here. Where there's like, you should buy this awesome model next because it's $100. I'm like, no, that model nobody used it.
No, I don't want that.
These are good though. These books are good. The games.
For your next list, you need 5 Mountain Kings.
Yeah.
You should buy those next. That's the next step.
They're not doing that.
I mean, you want 5 Conquests. That's just something you have to have, right?
Right. Every army should have,
every player should have at least 5 Conquests.
Right.
Just to look
Khadorian,
at.
For your shelf.
Every player.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, this has been another not-so-quick overview. I'm AdamHarry from BoLS Souls.
And I'm Stable Abe.
Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Go Cawdor.
Yeah.
All right, Butcher, don't hurt us. Later.